These are 6 jump training no-nos that can keep you grounded and plateaued for literally years, man, with your vertical. We're going to dive into this podcast how to fix these mistakes and how to avoid them so then you can break through a plateau and jump your highest and fly and feel what it's like to punch it through the rim like an absolute maniac. So let's jump into it. First mistake is getting too strong too quickly. Now, why can this cause problems, Tom? Why can trying to progress weights too quickly in the gym cause problems?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just use like a barbell back squat for an example. And if you get too strong too quickly, and it's not even just a case of getting too strong too quickly, it's just more a case of, you're loading too much too quickly because at the end of the day, your tendons really just know load and how much you're loading them. So whether that's through volume, whether that's through absolute weight, doesn't really matter too much. It's just you're doing more than your body's used to. That's okay, in some levels. But if you're doing that but too much, that's when the pain comes in. So you really got to make sure you take it slow. Obviously, you can keep adding weight, but you just have to do it in a slow and controlled manner, and you'll be all right. But the second you start trying to jump, 5, 10 kilos every single week, you might get away with it for a week or two, but at some point it will catch up to you, and it catches up to everyone. We're all human at the end of the day, and we all have limits on how fast we can progress.
Yeah, most injuries happen through overloading the body too quickly.
Sure, bro. For sure.
Tendon, back, all
Yep.
these things happen. And you got to remember the body's amazing at adapting as long as you give it enough time to do so and you're patient with it. And if you think about it, if you add 2.5 kilos to a lift every week for 6 months, so what six months is 26
6 weeks.
weeks, so 26 times 2.5, that's quick maths, 43
Yeah. I don't
kilos.
know. No.
No, sorry,
Whatever it is.
it's not.
I
It's
think it's higher. That's higher.
53. It's
Yeah.
53 kilos. My bad. 53 kilos. 53 kilos. And 53 kilos in 6 months on a lift is huge. And yeah, and what is that? What is that in pounds? What's the conversion?
53 would be like 100 and I'm gonna guess 123.7 pounds. That's my
Yeah,
guess.
so whatever it is, that's quite fast progress. That's fast progress. And that's going to give your body enough time to adapt. It's going to avoid things like lower back injuries and knee issues and stuff like that. Because a lot of those things can arise just through overloading the body too quickly. And funnily enough, if you just take it a little bit more slowly, you're still pushing yourself, but you're not trying to push weights up too fast. You end up progressing faster because you're not getting injured. Your body recovers better from session to session as well. So you're going to feel better for your jump sessions and everything's better and you end up progressing more when you're trying to progress slower, not faster. So it's funny how that works. And if you're able to, even then, if you're able to add 10 kilos to your squat or deadlift or whatever it is every week, you're probably undershooting in the first place, anyways. So that's something to think about. Next thing is not eating enough carbs the day before or the night before you're gonna have a big lower body session or you're gonna have a big jump session. But what's happened when you've undereaten the day before, Tom?
Pretty simple, man. Like, your body needs carbs to fuel. And when I don't eat carbs, I feel terrible. It's not just a sense of, I might feel good walking in and my jumps end up bad. I just, even walking into the gym, I will feel more sluggish than I normally do. And this isn't really a mistake I make anymore. Like, I'm pretty locked in on this kind of like area of my training. But before I knew about nutrition and I was kind of just jumping and, sometimes I'd wonder what's going on. It was just literally just a case of undereating. Simple as that.
Yeah. And yeah, if you're undereating in general, it can lead to your nervous system fatiguing more.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, it can lead
And
to
for basketballers as well.
your nervous system fatiguing more quickly and overtraining more quickly as well. So you're not able to handle as much training volume too. And you'll literally feel less bouncy as well. If you're under eating, especially the day before, you'll literally feel less bouncy the next day because your fast twitch fibers rely on carbohydrates as their primary energy source. Slow twitch is a little bit more fat, but in general, you need to be eating carbs if you want to perform your best, and even before a basketball game as well. Loading up on carbs the day before a big basketball game will improve your endurance in that basketball game too. You'll literally have more energy and perform better. So it's quite a cheat code to getting crazy results. And who doesn't love eating carbs like bread, pasta, rice, fruit, banana, apple? What's your favorite carbohydrate, Tom?
Bro, at the moment, it's boring. This might sound boring, but it's actually rice. Like, I've never really been on the rice, like, train. I've never been on that, like, hype train, but I'm on it now. I'm locked in, bro. I literally just had some rice before, and I'm about to go have some after this podcast. I'm team rice at the moment.
That's quite a cheat code. I really like rice and pasta. It's good, and bread is especially good here in Europe. Far better than America or Australia or a Western country. I don't know if I've told you that, Tom, but it's because they don't use all the pesticides and all that sort of stuff in their weed in there. They
Right.
have heaps of good different varieties of bread with heaps of flavor in it, and it's just everything's just better here.
Although I can imagine a country less like, say, England, for example, is probably more similar bread to Australia and America than it would be to Czech.
I don't know.
Probably more processed. I don't know. Yeah.
I haven't been to the UK yet, so we'll see.
It
Okay.
depends, man. Yeah, it depends. Like, if you want, some people like their pesticides and their microplastics in their bread, you know? Yes, each to their own.
Whatever floats your boat.
That's it, man.
Okay, so next one is not moving enough outside of training. It's just getting enough general movement. Like, we're human beings, our bodies are designed to move, our joints are designed to move. And just sitting down all day being a fat slug and a sloth, then that you're not going to get as much blood flow to your joints, to your muscles, which can slow down localized muscle recovery a little bit. You're not going to get sunlight. You're not going to like sunlight. Sunlight's very important for vitamin D, which is important for bone density and health. It quite literally helps the absorption of calcium. So you probably, if you're just sitting inside all day, you're going to have weak bones. You're going to be more susceptible to fractures. What else? So walking, Tom.
Just
Just
like,
general aerobic
well,
fitness.
yeah. Yeah, it's just literally for your general health. It's just, honestly, it's a non-negotiable. Minimum, you should be getting like 10K steps per day. If you can do more, maybe try and hit like 20K. It's free calorie burn, so it'll help you get lean.
Bro, have you ever
No?
tried to walk 20K though?
And personally, no, that's not for me.
That's
But
like 4 hours of walking a day.
is it? Oh, you reckon?
No, I
To
know
be
so.
fair, if you had a dunk session, you'd clock them up pretty quick.
Like, so I
Or
would
a
say,
basketball game.
honestly, I would say around 8K. That's fair enough. That's like a few walks a day.
Okay. Minimum.
No, 8.
Oh, 8 kilometers? You
No,
saying?
no,
Or
8,000 steps.
8,000 steps. Yeah. Are you saying that as the minimum requirement, you think?
Yeah, 8,000,
Right,
100%.
okay.
Because that's like that's kind of like the threshold where you start to get these benefits. And human beings, like, they were designed to move, but designed to walk. And like, I wouldn't be afraid of building too many slow twitch fibers from it, unless you're doing it excessively and walking 8K a day, right?
Yeah. Don't go on like a hike every single day, guys. It's probably not great for your athleticism, especially if you're going
But
uphill and stuff. But yeah.
if you start moving more, you will feel better. And maybe early on, you might feel a bit more tired. You might feel a little bit more fatigued from it, but over time, your body will start to adapt and you'll start to feel better from that extra movement, just general movement. And it's going to make you a healthier human being. If you're a healthier human being, your body's going to be more able to adapt to things and be in a better position to change and become more explosive and fast twitch. So definitely highly recommend. Next thing is over jumping. Now, this can be quite a huge mistake a lot of people make. This jumping is one of the most fatiguing things in your training and is the most fatiguing thing, to be honest. Especially if you're jumping for like 2 hours, you're going to feel like death the next day. You're going to feel terrible. Like, how do you feel after jumping 2 hours the next day, Tom?
Well, I also hit legs after, so not great. But yeah. Well, literally right now, today, I woke up and it's not like I feel bad. Like, I can still walk and stuff. Like, realistically, in the grand scheme of things, it's not bad at all. But if I was to someone asked me to go have another dunk session, would I be able to even windmill? Absolutely not. Probably barely touch the ring. Very sore. Like, yeah, it's all right. It's just part of the game.
Yeah. So over jumping, like, if you're over jumping consistently, it's going to cause excessive nervous system fatigue, and you're just going to feel terrible all the time. And your training is going to be low quality. You're not going to be able to get stronger. You're not going to be able to get more elastic, and you're going to feel dead all the time. You're going to be in a bad mood. You're going to be irritable. You're going to have bad jump sessions because you're just fatigued all the time. Whereas if you're more onto it, you're counting your jump reps, You're not over jumping. You're going to feel good all the time. You're going to be able to get stronger. You're going to have high quality strength sessions and you're going to progress faster. And there's a threshold for everyone. Generally, lighter athletes can get away with jumping a little bit more than, say, someone that's like taller and heavier. So everyone's going to have a different
Yeah.
threshold. And it also depends on your tendon capacity, how much your tendons can handle too, without having a spike in pain the next day too. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. And if you want help with this and you want guidance on this, there's a link down below to where you can apply for coaching, and we can handle this for you to ensure you progress and progress consistently with your training, so you don't end up in pain and you end up actually flying and not stuck on the ground. So if you're interested in that, there's a link down below. And jumping back into it, like I know when I've overjumped, I progress slower than when our athletes. Sometimes when we're trying to peak an athlete too, when we're handling everything, but they're still overjumping, it can ruin the peak and how good you feel for if you're trying to maximize your bounce for a certain event and be your absolute best. If you're overjumping in
Yeah.
that situation as well, even though your training volumes in the gym have come down, but you're still over jumping, your jumping volume hasn't come down. That can cause issues to where you're not going to be peaked for that event or whatever, the big dunk session or basketball game or whatever as well. So that's where it's going to be important to be onto your jump reps too.
Yes. The only other factor I would say that can impact this is the person's age. So if you're like 12 years old, 12 to 15, it just doesn't matter as much. I could even have an argument for not even having to count your jump reps at all, because at that point you're just learning the movement of jumping. So it's very important to get your jump reps in. And also, more times than not, your output isn't going to be high enough to the point where you're not going to get hurt more than likely. And also, a lot of people at this age aren't like strength training, trying to get their strength up, and it's more a case of setting yourself up for the future when you're at this age. So getting your jump reps in is very important. But say you're 25, right? You've done lots of jumping in your childhood, whatever. You're going to be pushing the strength. You want to reach your genetic limit. You should probably be counting your jump reps and slowly progressing them over time, of course. But you got to focus on the weight room, all that other stuff. So you can't be doing 3-hour jump sessions 3 times a week, because the weight room will suffer. Therefore, your vert and overall progression suffers.
Facts. So this is the next point, is stretching your tendon when you have jumper's knee or you have a tendon issue. Might be your Achilles as well. If you're stretching your calf when you have Achilles pain and tendinopathy through that tendon, or your knee. It doesn't matter which tendon, or your hamstring. It could be a hamstring tendon if you're stretching your hamstrings. Doesn't matter which tendon it is. If you're trying to stretch that area while you have pain, it's going to put more compressive forces on the tendon, and it's going to hurt more, add more load that's not necessary. Like, how many times have you had to tell an athlete not to stretch when they have knee pain, Tom?
A lot. And it's fair enough. I hear it all the time online. You have knee pain because your XYZ is tight. And that's true, but in less cases than you would think. In most cases, it's like we said before, it's either they've overjumped or they've overloaded their squat. It's just the tendon's been overloaded in some capacity and they just need to ease off on that, do some isometric slow strength. That's going to give you 1,000 times better return than stretching the tendon.
Facts. So the last point is too much fat and just being too fat in general. Like, it's a strong statement to say, but if you can't see your abs, then probably have low hanging fruit, or definitely have low hanging
Revert,
fruit.
bro. Yeah.
Revert.
Revert, man.
Just from getting leaner and reducing your body fat percentage, because fat don't fly, the classic saying. And if you want to fly, the best highest jumpers that have minimal fat. And how do we go about this, Tom? How does someone go about through cutting fat to ensure they don't kill their bounce, but also they see an increase in their bounce?
Right. So, yeah, you want to drop your fat levels, but there are correct and incorrect ways of doing this. You want to make sure it's more than likely the scale weight is going to be dropping, but you want to do this in a way where you're not dropping too fast to the point where your energy's low, the weight room suffers, and your relative strength ends up actually going down. The reason you're cutting this fat, the main reason, is so your relative strength goes up, and sometimes you don't even need to get stronger in the weight room. Even if you maintain, you lose fat, your scale weight goes down, your relative strength automatically goes up. It's just math. So you want to make sure you're doing it slowly. I wouldn't go anything faster than like half a kilo to a kilo. in some cases per week in terms of scale weight. Sometimes at the start, when you start a cut, if you're on the heavier side, you might see a initial like kind of big drop off in the weight, then it kind of like tapers off. But generally, half a kilo a week is as fast as you kind of want to be going. You know, if you're just doing like a mini cut, even less than that. But yeah, making sure you do it slow, making sure you keep your protein high as a priority so you lose the minimal amount of muscle. And yeah, obviously play around with the carbohydrates and fats a little bit. But yeah, keep it slow and be patient.
Yeah, we'll definitely make this a whole podcast episode for sure in the future, telling you guys out in terms of how to actually cut fat
Full
to
breakdown.
and give you guys a full breakdown. But for now, the key is just to not do it too fast, to do it slowly over time, and try to build muscle in the process. Helps tremendously.
Absolutely.
100%. So I hope this podcast helped you guys out and gave you some good insights. If you want to apply for coaching down below, there's a link down below. If you want free daily advice to your inbox, much like we're giving in this podcast, that can be quite game changing. And if you apply, you'll literally jump higher from. Plus a free lower body workout to jump higher. There's a link down below to where you can sign up for that. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Peace.